In the meantime, the National Democratic Coalition has issued an ultimatum to Nigeria's electoral body to declare the seats of the 27 elected lawmakers of the Rivers State House of Assembly vacant and make public a date for fresh elections replacing them. The group, while accusing Nigeria's Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, of being the brain behind the crisis, condemned the action of the lawmakers, saying they have infringed on the nation's constitution and the Electoral Act, and threatened that they will mobilize citizens of like mind to resist the events playing in Rivers State.
Our Congress, the NDC, is not unaware of the political connection at play here. It is common knowledge that the immediate past governor of Rivers State, Mr. Nyesom Wike, is at loggerheads with the incumbent governor, His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara. We have no qualms with Wike decamping from the PDP to APC. We have no qualms at all. In fact, he currently holds no elected position, so the vacation of office do not apply to him. But since the Rivers 27 lawmakers, in their recognition of Wike as their godfather, decide to cross into the APC ahead of him, they are welcome to do so. But that is to the extent they comply with the law by vacating their position. The NDC consequently calls on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to within 72 hours announce the conduct of by-elections into the 27 constituencies that the lawmakers.
To discuss this, we are being joined by Elvis Akpobi, who is a political analyst. Elvis, thank you so much for joining us on the news. You will need to unmute your device so that we can have quality audio from your end.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's a pleasure having you around. Now, looking at what's happening in Rivers State, some lawmakers defected from the PDP to the APC. There have been calls for their seats to be declared vacant, fresh elections to be held. Now, we are hearing that the Attorney General of the state has resigned. To you, looking at all that has played out in Rivers State in the last few days, what is your take? What do you see as regards this political impasse?
My take, for me, I find it disheartening, and that people who ordinarily swore oath of office, be the predecessor and the incumbent, they swore an oath of office to, protect life and properties of the Nigerian citizens, and most importantly, River State citizens, because as far as I'm concerned, it should be about the welfare, security of the citizens. But today it's about sustaining political empire, which for me is the personal interest and not the interest of the state. So, and if you agree with me, when there's crisis, there's no development. Since everybody is trying to sustain their political empire, you find out that people the political players lately, they are not thinking outside the box to, do things that will, develop River State and create an enabling environment for more development for the Rivers people. So everything you see today, when two elephants are fighting, the grass suffers. At the moment, the River State people, which is their primary constituent, which should be their aims and objective to elevating, poverty and giving them a better life, which I think it was one of the campaign promises of, the governor, and which the Minister for State FCT today, who is the minister representing River State, which is an alliance, he swore during his swearing in. For me, I think they should put the interest of River State people first than protecting their political empire.
Now that we see that the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, ordered the demolition of the state's House of Assembly complex, and there have been condemnations in some quarters as to that particular move by the governor. Now, even the governor has presented the state budget to 4 lawmakers, and of course is seeking ratification, approval in that sense. How would these affect governance? How would these affect Fubara's administration? Wouldn't it be some sort of derailment in his focus and the plans that he might have for his state in terms of growth and development?
Yes, it will, because if you agree with me, for a governor to develop a state, you need to be focused. At the moment, the governor is distracted and is battling for his political survival. Even as much as I frown as a youth advocate and an advocate of good governance, I frown at the demolition of the complex, which is was built by taxpayers. And for me, it's a strategy for him too. I still want to urge both camps, to bury the ashes and put the interests of the River State people first before their personal interest. Because lately, all these actions and inactions are reducing governance, reducing, and the world is watching. And our actions are used to measure us in the international community, which for me is not too good. It's not nice that we always come up on the social media, we always come up on the international for negativity. Do you see the way people are amplifying what is happening at the moment in River State? You will not see that they amplify good things like that about us in the national community. And for me, it's not too good. So with the CSOs, we are discussing already on how to come into this thing because the River State is made up of a lot of young people, and at the moment, this political crisis is playing with the future of young people in River State, and it's not too good.
Well, the Nigerian government seems coy on this particular matter. Would you have expected that President Bola Tinubu would have waded into the matter, of course, diplomatically now, and exact measures to actually deal with these issues in Rivers State?
Yes, I was expecting for a president that promised that he will be president of all, for a president that promised that he will go through the rule of law, for a president that says he will not be biased during his campaign, during campaigns. I'm surprised he's keeping mum to this issue. I don't want to believe that he's taking side with his minister, but from what I know when the immediate past governor of Rivers State was the governor, nobody told him how to run the state. I'm surprised that he wants to now play the demigod in telling the incumbent governor how to run the state. Godfatherism has really kept us backward, and it's time for everybody to come out, amplify other muted voices, and speak against it. Let's use Rivers State as an example to speak against Godfatherism because it's not bringing in good governance. It brings in sentiment, and at the moment, the primary victims of this crisis is mostly the Rivers State people who are taxpayers, which for me is not too good.
So what are now the potential and legal political implications of the Amaewhule group that actually held a plenary session at the Rivers State House of Assembly quarters despite a restraining court order? How might this action affect the ongoing dispute between the two factions within the assembly?
I'll speak via the lens of a geologist. I'm not a lawyer, but actions is affecting the economy of River State. Their actions at the moment is affecting development in River State. So the lawmakers, they should remember that they were elected to, make laws, make bills that will benefit the Rivers people, and not subscribe to where their loyalty lies and where it doesn't lie. This has affected democratic processes in Nigeria, and it has affected how our country is developing. I frown at what is happening in River State, and I want to say that it's time the stakeholders, those who really want River State to grow, those who really want Nigeria to grow, believe in Nigeria, believe in River State, to come out and, talk to these two factions so development can come back to River State.
Well, we actually do not know what end this political upheaval would mean for Rivers State, but we hope that they will jaw rather than war. Elvis Akpobi, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.